Do you want to increase your strength while also improving your flexibility? Well, join me. I'm Hannah, a yoga teacher with over 11 years teaching experience all over the world for this empowering and invigorating yoga class. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced yogi, this class is perfect for all levels, so don't worry. I've got modifications so that you have a safe practice. You are going to need 2 yoga blocks for today, so go ahead and gather those and get ready to increase your range of motion and feel stronger by the end of your practice. So we're going to start kneeling and we're going to grab 1 block to place between the ankles so that we can start in a seated posture relatively comfortably here. The other block will be nearby. We'll be grabbing that very shortly. So let's just begin by grounding ourselves into the present moment. Palms facing down to create a grounding effect if that's what's needed. Palms facing up to feel a sense of energy and upward lifting. Go ahead and close the eyes if you're comfortable doing that as you exhale. Continue to breathe, if possible, just in and out through the nose. Bring a sense of awareness of coming home to your mat, to the space of now. Gently blink open your eyes and go ahead and grab that second block. So taking hold of the block with both hands either side on the short length of the block, we're going to simply raise up and lift the block straight up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down. So see if your coming down to seated can be slower, maybe twice as long as your left. Inhale, rise. And exhale, deep, long exhalation, lower. Start to create a rhythm that works for you. And see if you can keep those leg muscles and glutes really nicely engaged as you lower yourself down. I keep having to remind myself to slow down that lowering. We'll do that 3 more times. One more. I'm just going to transfer both blocks into my hands here. So removing it from the heels. Take hold of one of the long sides, palms face up, hands rise, inhale. Lift the hands with the blocks in them right up so that you're kneeling tall. Stay upright, so don't drop the hips back. Start to turn to the left side with your heart. Bend the elbows, turning the palms up. And just go to a place where you feel like you can stay without kind of collapsing in any way through the spine. That's an exhale. Inhale, hands rise. And then drop down, hovering your hips towards the heels, arms stay high. We're not actually connecting, you're just going to use your leg muscles. And then lift back up, inhale. Exhale, turn to the right side. Inhale, hands rise, come through center. Exhale, lower the hips, hover. Lift yourself back up, inhale. Turn to the left side, exhale. Inhale, hands rise. Creating a rhythm now that works for you with the rhythm of your breath. Using your breath as the guide for your movement. Lifting, twisting, lifting, lowering the hips, Lifting tall, twisting. Lift the arms tall, lowering the hips. I'm going to see if I can do one more round. Opening heart, twist, lengthen, hover the hips, lifting, twist, arms are lifting, hover those hips, and now drop hips, drop the arms down. You're going to scoop the feet around and bring the feet all the way through. Come to sit in an L shape. And then bring your blocks kind of a little bit closer towards the knees. I brought them a little behind the knees. And you don't have to have them on the mid height. You could have them on the lower height. Don't go for the highest level, potentially. That'll feel too wobbly. So I brought my blocks right to the edge of the mat here. I want to have a little bit of room. And then I'm going to see if I can press my hands down. Now, it might be that you've got your hands too far forwards or too far back. You'll figure out in a couple of goes where you need to have your blocks. You're going to press your hands down and see if you can, I think I need them a bit further back. See if you can lift the hips. So the heels will stay grounded. You're going to press down, lift the hips, and then lower. So that first couple of rounds, you'll just figure out, okay, where do I need my blocks? They might have to change again. In a moment, we'll be adding on to this. So when you're ready, let's see if we can do 5 lifts and lowers. All right, so inhale, exhale, press down, inhale, lower, exhale, that's 2, inhale, and 3, 2 more, and 4, 1 more. Well done. We're going to add on to this. So bear with me. You could always watch. We'll be pressing down, lifting, and then we'll push the knees forwards and see if you can lift the hips. I'll keep the gaze forwards. And then I'll sweep the hips back behind and then lower the hips. So we're adding on the reverse bridge shape, or reverse plank shape, I should say. Okay, so press down, bring the hips forwards, knees bend, and then sweep the hips back and lower. You've got 4 more. You can do this. Press down, sweep hips forwards, bring the hips back and lower. Press down, sweep forwards, bring the hips back and lower. Lift the hips, sweep the hips forwards, sweep the hips back and lower. 1 more, you've got it. Lift the hips, sweep the hips forwards, bring the hips back and lower. We're going to see if we can add on. So when you bring the hips forwards, you're then going to see if you can lengthen one leg forwards. So press down, lift the hips, swing the hips forwards, straighten one leg forwards. Can you sweep the hips back, hovering the leg, and then lower down? We'll do that on the other side. Press down, lift the hips, hips forwards, straighten the leg, and then sweep action back and lower. All right, 1 more either side. Press down, sweep the hips forwards, lengthen a leg, and then sweep back and lower. You're going to press down, lift the hips, sweep the hips forwards, lengthen the other leg, and reaching back, lower down. Well done. If you need to, little wiggle out through those wrists. So from here, we're going to end up in a forward fold at the top of our mat. Let's just bring the blocks out of the way. You might rock and roll up and down your mat. You might choose to sweep the legs back behind you, come towards a downward facing dog, and then walk your feet forwards. Soften through the knees and roll your way up to stand. Let's go ahead and grab our blocks. So coming towards the top of our mat, I'm going to invite you to take hold of the short end of your blocks. Bring the weight into your right foot, reach the arms up and hover the left knee. Bend through the standing leg. We're heading towards a supported warrior 3, but we're gonna reach the arms through so slowly. Hold on to those blocks. You've got this. Extend the left leg back. Can you slow down the releasing of your blocks to the earth? Well done. And then slowly step the left toes to the back of the mat, keeping the left heel lifted. From here, we'll take an arrowhead with the arms holding onto the blocks back behind us. Let's take some pulses here. 4, 10, 9, 8, keep gripping those blocks. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the arms into high lunge. And then start to pivot the left heel, come through to goddess legs, bending through both knees, turning toes and knees out. Bring the elbows out wide, palms facing up. Hold for 3. Can you bend a little deeper for 2? And for 1, bring your block ends together in front of your heart. And then you're going to start to push into your left knee, straightening through the right. Turn the right toes a little more in, just slightly, not too much. And then bow your heart forwards into a high skandasana. So we're leaning the heart into this high skandasana, meaning your legs are still, your hips are still quite high off the ground. We could go a lot lower, we're not doing that. And then bend through the right knee and straighten through the left. I've very slightly turned those toes in from my goddess, but you might not need to move those legs. We're going to see if we can sway side to side. Keep pushing your blocks together. So bend through the left knee, bend through the right knee. Side to side sways. Hold your composure. Breathe through it. Side to side, one more time. You're going to end up bending through the left knee and then pivot so that your hands and blocks are turned towards the back of the mat and turn the toes to face the back edge of your mat. So we're into a lunge, the back heel is lifted. And then from here, we'll go ahead and step it up. You're now at the bottom of your mat. And then start to roll your way up. Coming to stand at the bottom edge of your mat. Shift the weight into your left foot. Begin to hover the right knee. Bring those arms up. Pause. So we're ever so slowly heading towards a warrior 3. At some point, we'll be landing the blocks to the earth, so it becomes a supportive variation. Start to slowly lean your heart forwards. Start to slowly expand and extend the right leg. Can you land the hands on the blocks ever so slowly? Pause once they've landed. And then gently land the right toes. We're setting up for our arrowhead. So sweep the arms back behind you. Heart is lifted. And we're going to take those pulses. So start to pulse through the arms for 10, 9, keep breathing, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Windmill those arms through and head towards goddess pose with the legs. So you can bend a little through the elbows, Try to turn the toes out. Try to avoid your bum sticking out behind you and your heart forward. So direct the sit bone straight down, pubic bone towards the navel. You've got this. Breathe. I apologize. I'm still recovering from a cold and I can feel my heart really beating still at the moment. One more breath. Okay, bring those blocks towards one another. Press them in firmly. And then you're going to start to lean over towards the right leg. I'm going to slightly turn my toes in. And then start to lean your heart forwards. Hold here, breathe. And then swap it over. Bend through the left leg. Straighten through the right. Keep squeezing the blocks together. And then we're going to sway back and forth. So bending through the right leg, then the left. Try to do it smoothly and slowly. Through all the wibble wobbles. All right, go ahead and bend through the right leg. Pivot so that you land your blocks, pivoting those toes. And step it up to the top of your mat. Remove the blocks, bring those out of the way. Let yourself dangle. Roll up to stand. Thumbs to heart. We're going to make our way to the earth. Hands rise and fold. Take a halfway lift and step back. Downward dog. Go ahead and drop the knees to the earth. Swivel the feet all the way through. And go ahead and extend the right leg forwards. Bend through the left knee. You could always place something underneath the left knee if you need a little extra support there. Try to sit nice and tall. You can also pad something underneath the buttocks. And just see where your body will go as you bow forwards. So for now, try to tilt sit bones back behind you. Try to lengthen crown of head beyond your right toes. See if you can stay for another 2 breaths. And then lift your way up. We're going to bring left hand behind us. Push into your left shin. Lift the hips into a variation of wild thing. Expand the heart out to the side if you can. Maybe even rotate the heart up towards the ceiling. You choose what you want to do with the right arm. You choose where you take your gaze. And then slowly lower the hips. Let's swap those legs over. We're seeing if we can keep the left leg active, long, foot is flexed. And we're seeing if we can bow forwards over that left thigh. Try to avoid thinking that I must have my face touching that left shin or knee. Could you imagine that the crown of your head is trying to go beyond those left toes? Remember, you can have support underneath the buttocks or underneath that right knee. Let's go for one more full round of breath. And then lift yourself up. Right hand is positioned behind you with the fingers to the back of the mat. And shift the weight into that right shin as you lift the hips and explore what you might enjoy doing through the left shoulder and arm, through your gaze, your neck. Last breath. And then soften the hips towards the earth. Lengthen through those legs. We're going to really slowly roll our way down. So I've just wiggled my hips to the center of the mat. The legs are going to stay heavy. The heels will probably drag, that's okay. And see if you can really calmly, controlled, roll your way down to the earth. If you need anything here, a little hug, a squeeze, maybe a little roll. Maybe you'd like to take a little twist on either side, or take hold of the inside of the ankles. Turn it into a moment of happy baby. Choose a way that you would like to come through to Savasana, a final pose of deep, nourishing rest, where I'm going to leave you today. Enjoy this time and space.
Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like Tula being free and accessible to all.